nothing spectacular about him, really.
I was just the runt.
He was just like any other kid.
I was never really competitive. I sucked at sports in school.
Rather, he was just a casual boy.
I was bottom 3 in the class. And I sucked at school because I was at memorizing. I wouldn't even be reading absorbing the words on the page. I would just be looking at the lines and just daydreaming about something else.
But the world as he knew it was about to collapse.
I moved to New Zealand in 2001.
What was the reason why your parents decided to take you out of Nigeria and move you to another country?
Initially, better recognized tertiary education.
I didn't realize I was black till I moved here because I knew I was black, obviously. I knew my skin color was dark, but I never knew it was a problem.
And it was weird for me. It was really weird for me.
You get picked on, you get cast aside in a way, like an outcast, because you're different. And I was why? I was trying to fit in too much, and I got bullied a lot. Like when I used to get bullied, I'd be shaking, my knees would be shaking, my body would be shaking, and oh, look at him, he's shaking, oh, he's scared.
Most of this thing, when it happened, he didn't tell us.
I didn't sound like the people here.
I started to try and talk like the Kiwi kids. I tried to use the same slang. I really tried to fit in. Everyone just wants to belong, especially as kids. You just want to be part of a tribe or fit in, but then...
Psychologists call it social rejection, a fear we are programmed to avoid on an evolutionary level. You see, back when we lived in small tribes, being excluded from the group and sent into the wilderness was practically a death sentence.
I ended up being a people pleaser as a kid, because it was a way of surviving.
So the fear of rejection is your brain trying to protect you from the perceived danger of exclusion.
And then you don't realize how that follows you into adult life.
Me trying to fit in just never worked at all.
Because I spent most of my time in the library during lunch times, just because it's safe in the library.
Calvin and Hobbes is a comic I used to read in high school. In the library, I read all the comics that they had of Calvin and Hobbes. And they're in the box, just chilling or doing something, playing around. And there's the power of imagination. So I just go to my bicycle because it's power. And I like cartoons because there's no limit,
Yeah.
Actually, there's no limit. I draw strength from characters that aren't even real. Like Avatar, Naruto, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, they're real to me. For me, it's all about what's in here and what you feel in here. And I can relate to a lot of those guys more than I can to some of the great leaders of our time.
And the mind does not know what's the difference between reality and fantasy sometimes.
I blurred the lines between reality and fantasy. I am that line.
But no matter how far he escaped, the evil of the realm always managed to find him.
I remember in school, this kid was just giving me shit the whole time, the whole week. And during the weekend, he rode by my house.
He took time out of his day on a Saturday.
And she yelled, "Go back to your country, Blackanese." And did it 2 or 3 times.
Go back to your country, Blackanese.
Go back to your country, Blackanese.
And then drive by again and say, "Oh, you black this, you blah, blah, blah." And I was
joking.
And I remember thinking at that age,
did I do something to this kid?
Did I say something to him? The next week at school, and he just came up to me and what a black boy, and just pushed me. And I might have been having a bad day. And I remember I just lost it and I snapped.
And I remember just wailing on him. Just threw him to his K block, beat his ass, to his B block, beat his ass. And I was crying the whole time, just beating him up.
And I just ran away and went to go hide for 30 minutes or so till the teacher found me.
Yeah, he never did that again after that. Yeah.
Well, I had to, turn around and fight at some point.
And on his quest to learn how to defend himself,
I watched this movie, Ong Bak. Ong Bak was different. And I was like, yo, this is cool. I don't know what this is. And then I found out it was Muay Thai.
he would also turn to Grandmaster Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan was my Bruce Lee. The way everyone looked at Bruce Lee, that's how I look at Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan was the guy who made me enjoy fight movies like The Drunken Master, Rush Hour, all those movies, because he made fighting seem cool and fun and funny, and he played with it. He was playful.
Izzy starts renting UFC videotapes.
And I picked this up just to learn how to defend myself.
And one mighty combatant from Brazil shatters his perception of reality.
UFC 90, I watched the Silva fight Patrick Cote. And I remember watching him just what is he doing? He's just having fun. I think it's just he was ahead of everybody else. Watching Anderson Silva dismantle people from back in the day, I was just like, man, skinny black guys f***ing everyone up. I'm skinny, I'm black. I can f*** people up.
Anderson Silva was also bullied, not because of what he looked like, but because of his voice.
I have a lot of problems about my voice. The people don't respect my voice because it's quiet, it's no.
And he called himself the Spider because he was obsessed with the myth of Spider-Man.
First of all, I love Marvel. I love it, Spider-Man.
The Spider!
He was someone I looked up to as a kid.
When I talk to my dad about this, my dad say, "This is your voice. This is you."
I just knew, I was like, you know what? If I really wanted to do this, I'd be the best at this. And I didn't know if it was true. Didn't care if people believed me or not. I just said it because it made me feel great. It's all about how you see yourself. Quote from Ali, I'm the greatest. I said it before I knew I was.
It took me a while to realize that I wasn't meant to fit in. Like guys like us, we're not meant to fit in. We're meant to stand out.
Every man is responsible for his own destiny.
Did your mum and dad know what you were up to?
Not really, no.
I came into the room one morning to say, I'm out of here. I'm going to Auckland to pursue my fighting career. I said, what?
I told them like, I think a week beforehand, before I moved, so that way they didn't have time to talk me out of it.
Your first son tells you he's going to be fighting, and you are a chartered accountant or a registered nurse. They're going to say, what's wrong with you?
My mom and dad didn't believe in what I was going to do because no one from my country had done it yet. And we tried our best to talk him out of it. He was adamant that that was what he wanted to do.
My wife started crying.
She woke me up crying before she went to work, and I was like, Mom, chill. She said some words to me that made me realize I can't let them down. As their firstborn, I can't let them down, so.
We made up our mind at that point that, look, win or lose, we have to support this boy. It looks like this is what he wants to do.
Found a Muay Thai gym, then 6 weeks later, I had my first fight.
And then once I was in the ring and I got that rush, I was hooked. That was it.
I think since then, I've just been chasing that dragon. And the Chinese brought me over as a journeyman. Big, tall, black guy. You're in the rural areas of China. You'll get stared at all the time. So they gave me a name, Sure, Hei Long. That means the black dragon. Hello, I am the black dragon.
And I just felt like Jackie Chan whenever I fought.
One thing, I went 40-0 before I had my first loss.
But then losing the next fight
by KO.
And do you think you learned something in that fight about not giving into your emotions? And
I shouldn't have given into people's opinions of myself. I should have stayed true to me.
You built up a lot of hype outside. You built up some hype kickboxing. You built up some hype in MMA, but you built up a lot of internet hype.
Yeah.
There was a lot of highlight videos made of you, and people were like, oh, look at this guy.
Yeah, I took my time, fought around the world, fought different body types, different styles. And then eventually, I think the UFC were like, okay, what do you want? Come on, like, let's go.